Welcome to another episode of Real Truth. As always, I'm your host, BX Bad Boy. Today, I'm going to be joined by my guest host, my son.
Chewbacca, hello.
And today, we're going to be reviewing the last year of COVID-19 under a 12-year-old's point of view instead of an 11-year-old's point of view, and what the upcoming May go back to school. Stay tuned. All right, as I stated in my intro, this is my son, and he's now 12. When the pandemic started, he was 11, but I'm sure it feels like he's 52 now because I do. So we're going to talk about, ask him a few questions and see what he has to say about what's been going on the last year with home learning and on-school learning and some kids going back to school, and now the upcoming where all adults should be vaccinated starting May 1st. That's an interesting beginning because I got my own take on it. So, Mr. J. Rocco, what do you think about the last year of homeschooling?
It's pissing me off.
Well, like I say, better than pissing on you, right?
Yes. It pisses me off. I hate it. I hate it.
Would you rather be back in school?
Yes.
Are you going to go back to school?
Possibly.
No. Not are we going to make you, kid.
Do I want to? No.
What are you waiting for?
The vaccination for everybody.
Including children?
Yes.
Because
you're safe, but I ain't.
Yeah, because children can't be vaccinated yet because they don't have a vaccine for their age. I think the limit is 13 and up or 16 and up, something like that. So you being 12 don't qualify. So what's it been like having to go to class and talk to your fellow students on a virtual point?
That doesn't exist. Talking to other students doesn't ever happen.
I thought you socialized sometimes after class with some of the kids.
No. That's not allowed because as soon as the teacher leaves, we are forced to leave.
So there's not even a social point.
No. No lunch breaks either because we leave at 11.
And during class, you're not allowed to talk to one another.
Nope. We're all supposed to stay muted, cameras on, although my camera's broken.
Okay, so you're only supposed to be talking to the teacher.
Yes. We're not allowed to talk to each other, no socialization, no nothing.
It's like a fat kid staring at a cake behind glass. It's gotta be a miserable feeling.
It is. And they can't keep their schedule straight. Because first it was 2 o'clock we leave. Well, 2:10. Now it's 11:50, went back to 2:10, then 11:50 again, 2:10 again, blah blah blah. It keeps flipping for some dumb reason.
Well, something is obviously changing the schedule around for one reason or another. The teacher.
It's been 11:50 for a while now.
Well, because they probably settled on something and they say, you know what, that's enough time. Let's call it a day.
Yeah.
You care to explain why you're behind on your assignments?
It's not even.
You can be
it's
honest.
Stressful.
You know the rules, no cursing. Just express what's been going on that's making it difficult for you and your classmates to actually complete your assignments.
Everybody except for a few people, everybody's getting yelled at about behind on schoolwork and everything else. It's not just me.
No, but why is it becoming so difficult to meet these assignments?
It's stressful, and some teachers are just annoying. They shove literally everything at you at one time. Some of the things that they make us do is kind of stupid. They don't give us any instructions sometimes. It's just...
I guess it's been very difficult. Would it be easier if you had one of your parents over your shoulder?
No. That actually makes it more difficult.
Well, remember the old rule, can only kill you once. So you only have to worry about it happening once.
True. After it happens, I mean, hey, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
What are they gonna do? Kill me again?
Yeah, try. I'll bring you back and kill you again. The ghost of the Bubba. So, with the news stating that Biden has enough vaccines by May 1st, I believe, to vaccinate all adults in America, they are thinking about that should be enough for you to go back to the school building. What do you think?
No.
So all the adults being vaccinated is not good enough for you.
Well, yeah, no, because there's still a possibility for it to transfer to kids.
Well, at that point, kids would be doing the transferring, not the adults.
I know, but it's like I still want to stay home because I don't want. One, I don't want to get it, and two, I don't want to give it to anybody else.
Well, if all the adults have a vaccination, you couldn't essentially give it to the adults.
Yes, but that's adults.
You would be that'd be me, Grandpa, Uncle G, and other people of our age and between the ages of what the vaccine's for.
I know that, but it's like.
You could only give it to children your ages.
But that still is painful. Being
No,
sick
it
is
is.
painful.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that
So why
it's
would I
all
want
clear.
to put more people in pain? Including myself. I don't want anybody to be in pain. So why would I go into a school building having the possibility of not only getting it, but passing it on to other children? And we're children, and they aren't me. You beat the crap out of me on a normal daily basis, not like legally. Open hand, everything.
There's no such thing as legally beating you.
True. But it's like...
I tone you up, and you and I go at it.
So I do have a high pain tolerance, and you've been doing it for years. I do have a high pain tolerance.
Correct.
But other children aren't going to have that. Not every parent does that.
Other children are not as tough as you are.
So I might be able to take the pain, but that doesn't mean other people can. So why would I try to go to school having the possibility of passing it on to more people and not only giving them a chance of dying, but still, that hurts
This is very true.
a lot. And it's just annoying having to sit in a bed for like 3 weeks. Who wants to do that? No one.
I wouldn't mind.
Well, I mean, yeah, but...
I get to sleep for 3 weeks. Nobody bothering me. Good night.
Well, for children, that's not the same.
No, it's not the same for me. I can't sit in bed for 3 weeks. The only way I could do that is during a depression.
Yeah. You did that for 6 months, you told me.
Yes. One big heartbreak that will never happen again.
Okay, next question.
So, do you feel safe about the vaccine?
Yes and no.
No, why don't you elaborate?
Yes, because I kind of trust it because now Biden is in charge of it.
So, your concern about the vaccine was during the last administration. So, what makes you not feel safe about it?
Well, I mean...
Because you said kind of. That means you do and you don't.
Well, we don't know what the results of the tests were. We don't know what happened.
They do. The results had to be given. It couldn't just have, I got good results. Oh, you do? Great. They had to show the results, silly, to get FDA approved. But the FDA did rush everything through.
It did.
But that doesn't mean they rushed it too soon. But all the red tape that they traditionally had to go through, all the steps, they avoided a majority of them. Stop scratching that because you're making the mic go.
I know, sorry. But yeah, that's another reason is because I did skip over a few things.
Yeah, but it's just red tape. Like, they had to hand you the results. You had to look at them. Then you had to hand them to me. Then I had to look at them. Then I hand them to Grandpa. He had to look at them. Then he hands them off to Uncle G. Uncle G looks at them. And then Uncle G sends it back to me to have another look at what he found. And then I got to hand it to you for final signature. Those kind of steps is what they avoided.
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't examine the results.
Of course I examined it. Because I want to make sure it's safe. Like 100%.
But to get it past the FDA, there's a whole lot of red tape. Think of it as prongs on a wall. And some of those prongs were unnecessary. They were just logistical nightmares to slow things down. So they removed some of those prongs that were just there to make things more difficult.
Maybe they'll do it again later. And do all the everything.
Well, we'll see.
With the one for children.
Grandpa will be getting vaccinated on Thursday. What do you think about that? Are you going to feel less or more comfortable around him?
A little bit of both.
Elaborate.
more because if this truly works, then less chance of him getting it.
This is true.
If it but side effects, we don't know what this thing does.
When you look at me, turn your body, because when you turn your head only, you get away from the microphone.
Yeah.
So if you turn slightly with your body and face, then your face stays over the microphone. It's not the greatest microphone in the world, though I was told it was going to be a badass microphone. But apparently it's not as badass as I think it should be.
Yeah. It is kind of cool though. Oof. Major oof.
Now you should be a bit louder.
Yeah.
So, do you think you can infect Grandpa after he gets vaccinated?
No.
Are you worried about that?
A little bit.
So that's a bit of a contradiction there. Are you worried about the vaccine causing Grandpa to get COVID? Speak, boy.
Yes. Well, because there's
Thank
a
God
possibility of
Thank God that on YouTube you can see this, but on our podcast they only hear.
Yeah.
So when you nod in your head, the rest of the audience is like, "Why is it so silent? Is he gonna answer?"
Or this means I can go like.
And they can't see anything, but YouTube can. You got to respect both audiences and speak to both audiences. Okay.
Both are dead.
Now YouTube might be able to see your nod, but the rest of the podcast audience only hears you. So, are you worried about Grandpa catching COVID from the vaccine?
Yes.
Do you know anything about the vaccine?
No, but I know what a vaccine is.
I would hope so. I told you.
Yeah, it's a disabled version of a virus.
Well, that was the original. I don't know much about the new one. The reason why it was able to get done so fast, because most vaccines, which are done the way you're referring to, take years. But they used what we already have for the SARS, because we have COVIDs. This is a novel COVID. Novel just means a new one that they haven't seen before, but still shows and shares similarities to the other COVIDs or coronaviruses.
When your friend says they're bringing COVID, but you don't see any virus.
So they used that, and that's how they were able to speed up the process. I don't know if you can catch COVID or get sick in the same sense from these vaccines.
Yeah.
But there are side effects to these vaccines.
Because the old one, it was a deactivated version.
The original way, you mean?
Yes,
Not old.
it was supposed to let your body know what it is, get used to how to defeat it.
Yes, traditionally,
Know what
you put in
weakness
the
it.
dead virus, and your body gets to recognize it, so the next time it shows up, it's prepared to fight it.
But you can get it because there's a possibility of your body reactivating it.
You essentially get the symptoms. You're not really supposed to get the actual virus, but your body replicates as well as destroys. So essentially your body replicated the virus and it made you sick, but it was a different variation to it. It's a little bit less usually. That's why you get symptoms, and some people can't handle those symptoms and they get put out for 3 weeks. Others get the symptoms and they can handle it. Like when you got strep throat, you were up and running around, no problem. And this is without the antibiotic yet. You were able to be completely functional. And when you got the antibiotic, you became no longer infectious, but you were still fully functional. The only reason why we knew you had strep throat was because of the coughing and the redness of your throat, that we knew that you had to go to the doctor. And your mother said you had some kind of fever at her house. But at my house, you didn't have a fever. You were running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Easy. Easy. Yes.
So, some people, their body reacts differently to sickness and virus, and they may be put out of bed or put out of work. You or me or someone else may get the same symptoms, but not be put into the bed. Anyway, so Are you optimistic about going back to school in September?
What?
What do you mean, what?
I forgot what optimistic means.
Optimistic means excited and thinking good things are coming.
Oh, yeah.
There's optimistic, which is good feeling, and pessimistic, which means pessimistic means you have bad feelings.
Okay, what was the question?
Are you optimistic that in September you can go back to school?
No.
So you don't think they'll come up with a way that you can safely return back to school in September, being that all the adults are vaccinated?
They might, but children. They're not going to follow that.
Remember I told you sit in front of the mic like this, you become 10 times louder, and that bar right there, when it skyrockets red, that means you're loud and you can hear yourself. So if you're loud to you, then you're loud to other people. You got to be a little bit more cautious that you're talking to someone that they may have headphones on, and most likely will be, and you're blaring in their ear.
Yeah, but I'm not, because children, they're going to disobey. They love disobeying rules.
What about you? Are you still going to do what you said last year? That even though the mask can help you and save your life, are you going to purposely violate that rule anymore?
No.
So you're not going to pull it down. You're not going to play with it. So what makes you think the rest of the students feel any different?
Well, troublemakers. And they've been doing it all year. All the kids who've been going into school, they've been just taking it off willy-nilly.
This is true.
No, literally, I've been seeing it.
I just said this is true.
So it's like,
so
what makes you think that they're not going to do that?
So by September, you don't think they may have a
Vaccine?
Yeah, that thing. A vaccine that is for children or youth of your age.
They might, but who knows what's going to happen. Because people, like my mother, who said that they're not vaccinating me, people like her, what if they don't?
Well, Mom didn't say she wasn't going to vaccinate you. You must be clear. She's not going to let you take this vaccine, which is made for adults.
I know.
It's not the same thing.
No, but she said that she doesn't want to vaccinate me.
If they make the virus, they make
vaccine.
Stop being so loud. They make the vaccine safe for children. She's going to vaccinate you.
Okay.
It's the only way you'll be safe in school. Stop singing Corvette, because we're not on TikTok here.
Did you put it in my head?
Yeah, I was making fun. So, what do you think about me getting vaccinated?
I'm a little bit scared about it.
Are you going to be more or less cautious around me?
More cautious.
For how long? Do you see if I die?
Well, until, I know nothing's going to happen.
Okay. So do you think the government's doing their job now?
No.
You don't think the government's doing their job now that Donald Trump is out of it?
They're just going to start, but they're not doing it right now.
What do you mean?
They haven't fully done their job.
Okay. What do you mean? And for the record, he's been in office a little over 50 days.
You know what? Never mind. Just yes. edit all of it out.
No, it's all staying in, kiddo. So, for the last 50 days, you think the government's been doing their job?
Yes.
I didn't say, you misunderstood my question. I wasn't asking, did they complete their goal? There's a difference between completing your goal and doing your job. You understand that, right? If your job is to clean the kitchen, if you're in the middle of cleaning the kitchen correctly but not done, are you doing your job?
Yes.
Okay. Did you complete your job?
No.
See, now if I asked you that question, that's different. Then I wouldn't ask you because it's only been 50 days. That's just stupid. There's no way they were going to do it in 50 days.
Impossible.
So are you not excited for summer coming up?
I am sort of and sort of not. I'm excited because no more online school, no more getting badgered about schoolwork, but I'm not excited because this is a time where everybody goes out. That's the time where everybody leaves the house, goes hanging out with family members, because there's no school, and sometimes there's no work for some people. So it's like this is the time for everyone to hang out. But we're in a global pandemic, so people are gonna start running around, hanging out, and getting the virus.
Or transmitting it.
Or transmitting it. But you already know people they're not gonna pass up summer. Because the entire year has just been trash.
Okay, so let's end this with one simple question, and I want you to go over the last year, okay, from the beginning of the pandemic to today, because today's not the anniversary since it was a couple days ago, but I want you to replay the last year seriously, everything from school to life to what you've experienced and what's going on now. Are you optimistic that we're going to make it through this?
Yes, very. I'm getting tired of this.
So you're no longer afraid that it's just going to get worse?
A little bit yes and a little bit no. Because this could fail.
That's not the same thing if you're optimistic feeling, kiddo.
Well then, yes.
So, there's your answer with a 12-year-old follow-up about COVID and the situation that's been going on. Now, none of this, I didn't even think of the questions to ask. I just started asking them randomly. And as you can see, he gave me very broad answers because he's thinking on paper, not feeling. But he still did his best to answer the fact that he is optimistic that we're going to make it through this versus, if you remember last year's video and audio, he was not optimistic at all. He thought we were all going to die. Now, a year later, and especially being Trump out of office, he's optimistic. So am I. Do I think we'll make it through this? Yes. When and how, I don't know what we're going to look like on the other side. But we will make it to the other side. Believe that. On that note, I thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe, comment. You have questions for my son or me, you can put them in the comments and we both will answer them. And if anything, we'll even put up an answering video where he will answer you directly, and so will I. Or answer you on the comments depending on what you want.
We would love to hear your questions.
Yeah, if there's enough questions and comments, I'll make a video where we answer them on YouTube and live, or better yet, recorded, unless you want to try to do a live session of questions, even if they're not the ones in the comments. But on that note, it's 12:25, and I guess say in the morning, and I think we covered everything. If you have any questions I didn't ask or wanted to find out from a 12-year-old, feel free to hit us up and see if we can answer your questions.
We'll
on
be
that
listening.
note, peace.